In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Three-Eye Atlas and NASA's photo release, and James, the guy that found the Boogosphere-type Cigar UAP. Both of which is going to be very disappointing. Oh, man. Oh, God, mate. All right, okay, which one do I start? Let's start with the Three-Eye Atlas, okay, and then we'll get on to James. So, the third interstellar object, okay? The long-awaited reveal. The long-awaited reveal. Oh, my God. If you haven't seen it, right, hang on, before I show you. This is what a amateur photographer managed to get, right? This image that I'm about to show you, okay, is taken by an Australian astrophotographer called Michael Yeager. And let me just say, an amateur, okay? An amateur photographer took this. Beautiful. Look at how, obviously, listen, a given. This is post-production. It's post-edited. You know, things have been enhanced, lighted up, colour, you know, all that sort of jazz. But it is a pretty good... basically, when I say edited, it's taken very small information and enhanced it, okay? Right? It's taken smallest information and enhanced it to make it look beautiful. It's not like added, oh, I'm going to make it green, I'm going to make it blue, right? This is it, okay? This is amazing. Really, really nice. Look at this one. Look at this.
Okay, so we got Three-Eye Atlas. This is a brand new image from an amateur astronomer in Australia.
Well done.
And I'm just doing a little bit of cleaning on the image right now. And I'm using these Adobe Lightroom. And I'm just, you know, trying to make it look a little bit more prettier, if you may say.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, okay? So, well done to that person who took that photo. Amazing, okay? Let's take a little look at what NASA got. Yes, mate. Maximum photography skills, please. Come on. It's not even laughable. I know I'm laughing at it, but, like, come on. Someone put this as well. Official photos by NASA of Three-Eye Atlas. The source photo. It's fucking street lights. It does, though. It looks exactly the same as that. Oh my God. This is what Avi Loeb had to say about it. He wasn't surprised.
I look at that picture and all those dots look the same to me. So tell me, you know, why? Tell me about this picture that we just saw showing the comet.
Yes, it's crap.
Well, there were no new insights as to the properties of this object from this NASA press conference. They pretty much repeated things that we already knew.
Yeah, yes, Avi, absolutely. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I didn't watch it. I skipped through. I could see the pictures that they were bringing up from like weeks ago, right? And I was like, going over the same old stuff is a load of bullshit.
We knew about the Hubble data, the Webb telescope data, and then the new data, for example, the image from the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter that should have been the sharpest that we have, you know, just showed a fuzzy ball of light similar to the Hubble image that we already saw before. And there was some data.
How frustrating. Did you just put yourself in Avi's shoes? Yeah? And his left. He's probably been having sleepless nights about this, thinking, I can't wait to see these high definition, maximum resolution photos. And he gets given that. Look what you could have won. He must be so pissed. The amount of information he could have got from some good photos, and you pass off this? What? NASA, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't like this is exactly why so many people in the world believe in conspiracy theorists and cover-ups and all this sort of stuff and don't trust NASA. Look at this. Hang on, we'll go back to Avi in a second. Look at this. Hang on, Avi. We'll look at this. Right, this is what this fucking NASA dude says. Listen to this joke.
It could be what NASA thinks it is, and that's why this is so exciting, and that's why we want to have this press conference to share it with the world, to share it with you, and also we are ultra transparent, right? If we had this exciting transparent, right? We are ultra transparent. We are ultra transparent. We are ultra transparent. We are ultra transparent.
Right, okay. All right, mate. I'll take your word for it. Let's go back to Avi.
Mars that indicated hydrogen, but these are details. Nothing in the big picture changed. And, you know, the point is that the presenters should have emphasized what we don't understand rather than insist about what is familiar. And, you know, as I say, the foundation of science is the humility to learn something new rather than the arrogance of expertise. That's what the public resonates with. And,
exactly.
You know, I pointed out 12 anomalies about this object. The most important among them is the size. You know, this object is a million times more massive than the first interstellar object, 1,000 times more massive than the second interstellar object. And why didn't we see millions?
Let me ask you about that.
Yeah.
So you talk about those interstellar objects, and I was doing a little research, and this is the third one. This one right now is the third one. Well, and the first one was in 2017. The second one is 2019. Are you telling me that none ever happened before 2017? And if none ever happened before 2017, how come we're suddenly now getting 3 in 8 years?
No, there were many that passed before. It's just that we didn't have survey telescopes that are capable of detecting them. These survey telescopes were designed to find near-Earth objects because the Congress tasked NASA in 2005 to find 90% of all objects bigger than a football field that may come close to Earth because of the risk that they pose if they were to impact the Earth. So as a result of that, over the past decade, there were survey telescopes that allowed us to find these objects by chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If Congress wants you to investigate, wants NASA to investigate something to find out if it's going to impact the Earth, what can we do anyway? I mean, if it's coming here, I mean, like if let's say
this direction of Congress, like literally, you can just imagine NASA, can't you? Right? Congress phones. Well, we're going to give you 100 billion to find out what's up in the sky there, please. Right, up in the atmosphere, up in space. 100 billion. Is that enough for you? Yeah. Congress again. Dickheads. Yeah, 100 billion. Fine. Yeah. High-res pictures? No worries. Yeah, no worries. See you later. Right, it's party. That's what they're fucking doing over there. Partying and doing green screen shit.
This particular camera going to hit the Earth, and we just should have buckle up and just, I mean, what would happen?
No, if we're dealing with rocks or icy rocks, we can deflect them. If we catch them early enough, just a small nudge could actually make them pass far from Earth. And so that's the trick. And in fact, there was a mission called DART where NASA demonstrated that colliding a spacecraft with an object.
By the way, it's not 100 billion. I made that up. Okay.
Can deflect it significantly. So that's possible. I mean, there are various methods to deflect them. But this method of preventing a rock from hitting the Earth does not work for a technological object because it can maneuver, or it may have an intent, or it may have abilities that we cannot cope with. You know, it's just like ants in the crack of a pavement looking at a biker that passes nearby. They cannot do much about it. And that may be the situation when we encounter alien technology.
All right, we're going to know more in about a month, or it comes closest to the Earth in about a month, right? I think that's what you told me last time.
On December 19th.
Mate, I would have got a better photo from my Samsung 21 Ultra, whatever it is I've got. 24, is it? I don't know. Right? But I would have got a better photo than that. It's fucking laughable, man. I'm sorry. It's absolutely laughable. What's this?
Post that video and you will get a notification. I'll try to zoom in as much as I can so that you will see the effect of it. You see that?
Look, all these flames and shit going around it.
So when it is moving in front of us, and all the gas dust is behind that comet, right? It's like going in front of us and everything is behind it, right? So this is like, I'll zoom out to give you a perspective. So this is happening right next to the moon, right? Visually, it's not really close to the moon, right? It's millions of miles away from the moon. But from our visual point, it is crossing the moon. So that's what you're seeing when you are watching that kind of an effect. So what I was thinking, what if? So you will see the stars are moving, but the comet is staying in one place, right? I'm more interested in seeing what this comet is doing. So I'll zoom in further so that I'm not distracted by anything moving.
Look, it looks like it's swirling around.
What I'm seeing now is
is that like the jets, the 7 jets that Avi was talking about, of the jets coming out of this thing?
This comet is going. That comet is sending all that dust, gas, whatever it has around it. Maybe it is spinning and sending it around, whatever it is doing. It may be spinning, kind of, you can see the rotation, right?
But I also heard that even though it's spinning, the jets don't correspond to the way it's spinning, right? Like the jets are just sporadically pushing everywhere, but it should be like almost like timely as it's spinning around, but it's not. It's another, like, we've gone from 4 anomalies to now 12 anomalies, and they've given us this, like, that bloody crappy photo, man, and just going over the same stuff. Like, what a complete and utter joke. I mean, there isn't much more updates than that. It's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing. I was super excited of seeing something a little bit more, well, a lot more high definition than that. Look at this state of this. Look at the state of this. It wouldn't even put it past me if that isn't 3i Atlas at all. It wouldn't put it past me, mate. Right? That could be anything. That could be a headlight in a dusty street. A foggy street, sorry. Or dusty, whatever you want. Okay, so let's move on then to James. Now, if you don't know about James, James was an individual that had a very, very small channel, and he claimed to have picked up or like discovered a cigar-shaped UAP that was very similar, had very much characteristics to the Boogosphere, right? Because of the markings at the end. And I suppose this thing was what, like, I don't know, 1.5 meters long or whatever. And he was doing loads of tests on it, and I covered it, and it brought up so much attention, and he went around the internet quite a lot. And then I uploaded a video the other day of him seeing this light source when he was trying to drill into it, and the light, he just basically passed out. And I made a video saying it sounds like potentially I didn't claim it, but like there's a few options. It's fake, or like he's had a seizure, or that he could have been abducted. All right. So I made this video, and then shortly after, literally, I think even on the same day, he went live, right? And well, let me just try and find it. I've got his channel here. He went live, and he was like, this was just after something weird happened to him, right? And he was like, this.
While I get home, I'm trying to find a ride. I'm so sorry. I've been gone for like, I don't even know how many days it is. I can't tell, but it's like 3 days now. So, what was I gonna say? My head is in terrible pain. I don't know what happened. I can't even think right now. I'm sure I have so many emails, so many missed calls, so much everything. But
So, okay, he's going on about saying, I don't know what happened. He doesn't know where he is or whatever. And then, so I was like, well, okay, this is interesting. At least he's okay, right? And then he went live again. And this is where it gets really strange, right? Because he basically came out and said the whole thing is fake, right? All of it is fake. And I know there's a lot of people at home going, oh, really? Like, as if we didn't know that. Now, I want to talk about that. Because it's very important, all right? And I don't want I think with the UAP alien community, I don't think we should fall down the route of, I told you so, you know, and this divide. I think at the end of the day, the whole point of being interested in extraterrestrials, UAPs, is to work together. And it sounds really cliche, right? I know it's sometimes fun to get one over somebody when you think it was fake and they thought it was real, then it turns out to be fake or whatever. You know, it makes you get a little kick, like, well done. But at the end of the day, we're in this together, okay? I hope so, right? But anyway, so he went live and I was really intrigued because I watched the first, let me have a little look here. I watched the first half an hour, okay? And he was getting slated by the comments because he was reading comments out saying, look, guys, it was all fake. You're all stupid for believing in it. Give me more money, and all this sort of stuff. And I was listening to it. But then there was certain things in his live stream that I was going to make a note of, but it turns out I'm glad I sort of didn't, right? But what he was doing on this live, he was in one hand saying it's completely and utterly fake, but then he was throwing in, I mean, he's, you know, like, fair shout to him. He was throwing in little nuggets of things to make you think, he's not like he's pretending. It isn't fake. He's been found and this thing's been taken and stuff like that. Just little things. Like there was one bit where he says, well, first of all, he claimed that he doesn't remember any blue light. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, go and watch my last video of James, okay, where I covered where he passes out. He's trying to drill into it, right? He doesn't remember. He's saying, oh, it's all fake, guys. It's all rubbish. I got you. And this is what I do. I just entertain people, blah, blah, like this, right? And then he's saying, what blue light? I don't know what you're talking about, a blue light, and how I passed out. Like, you know, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, you don't remember drilling into a fucking UAP and a blue light comes and you have this massive seizure or something. And he's claiming that he doesn't remember it, right? It's so strange. And then he throws in something else a bit later on where you can quite clearly hear a gun being cocked, right, in the background. And so people were like, well, he's being held at gunpoint. He's being told to say this. How can you go from making tests on something, right, uploading, being completely like 100% coming across legit, and then you're saying it's completely fake. So that was like a red flag for me. I was like, okay, something's going on here. He's either double bluffing or triple bluffing, right? So, yeah, there was like, and then later on there was like this whispering, like, you know, where it's almost like he was being told what to say. So that raised more red flags. And this was a period of 30 minutes that I was hearing. So it wasn't almost like it was very subtle, but it was enough to make you second guess what the whole live was about by exposing the truth, right? And then later on, he said something about he's not got it anymore. Like, he hasn't got it anymore. Like, so again, that was another red flag. I'm thinking, hang on a second, mate. Throughout the whole thing, you're saying this is fake. But you're hearing a gun cock in the background. You're talking to some strange individual in the background. It sounds like he's telling you things, right? And you haven't got the UAP anymore. Also, you don't remember what happened when you passed out in this blue light. Yeah? And then the other one was, which I thought was a little bit too much. I've got to be honest with you. He said something and then he went, I'm not allowed to say that? Oh, okay. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know whether you would actually say that. If you were being held at gunpoint and saying, we've taken this UAP, do a live, tell the audience that this is a complete fucking joke, right? Otherwise, you're going to be ended. I don't think you would go, if you slipped up on the words, I can't remember exactly what he said about it. I think it was something about the location. I'm not too sure, but he went, I can't say that? Right, okay. You wouldn't say that, would you? You would just be like, hang on, what am I on about? It's fucking, sorry, forget what I just said then. I'm just like, I'm a bit tired or whatever. Makes excuses. So I was like, okay. So I tweeted out, I was like, guys, something's up with this. It's either the continuation of the story, or he is actually lying, or someone has actually come and taken this thing and they're saying, look, you know, and maybe the triple bluff is giving too many hints to say it isn't fake, which makes people think, well, he's being too obvious, so it must be fake. When, like, you know, you could bluff on top of bluff on top of bluff. You just don't know. But then the final thing that made me go, do you know what? This is now coming true, right? It's all ringing true. By, again, the power of the people, the power of the internet, which goes back to the 3i Atlas, right? And other things. The death of somebody, I don't want to get into it, but the death of somebody that used to be a speaker, okay, over certain things. When I was looking into that, there was so many amateur people looking into the video footage of trying to find the suspect, and the community just like slowing things down, reversing things, seeing subtle like hand signals and gestures, what other people were doing. I was like, it's so much better than what the actual government were probably doing, or the FBI, or whoever was involved to try and investigate what was going on. I was like, we just need to get the people involved here. Look at 3i Atlas again, with the amateur astronomers and stuff like that taking photography. Like, so much better than NASA. And again with this, like the community, with James. Look at the stuff that someone's found, right? So, if I go to my bookmarks, someone found this video. Boogatube, Red Panda Koala over on X tweeted this out. This is James's face. Now, I originally wasn't going to show his face because there was, you know, I respect people's privacy. If he doesn't want to show his face, whether he's lying or making a joke or entertainment or whatever, I'm not going to show his face. However, he's recently uploaded his own face, okay? So I'm going to show it. Also, big shout out. Thanks, James, for giving me a shout out and saying like he feels bad about like leading Caspersight on with this, or he mentioned something. But what I will say is I don't know whether he deliberately or intentionally said it. I've not been in contact with him asking for a interview. I've not like he emailed me. I think I emailed him saying about I've got this footage. Can I use it? And he's replied back to me saying, yeah, use it. I don't want any money from it. It's just what it is. But after that, I've not been in contact with him, and I never really wanted an interview. I suppose if I thought about it, it probably would have been a good thing. But no, never contacted him after that. But I think he was generally conscious that he didn't want to upset certain people. He just wanted to entertain. But anyway, right, I digress. This is his face.
I am applying to be a remote closer for Jeff Seckinger at NERP. I can relocate anywhere. I have some experience in the field, and I'm looking to make a career out of this. Very self-motivated. I love working in the stock market. I love working with people. Most importantly, I love winning and closing deals. So I expect to hear back from you guys. If not, I'll be winning elsewhere. Thank you. Hi,
So that's James, right? It did make me chuckle slightly when he says, I love working with people. But on his live stream, he's just basically slagging people off, saying you're stupid and give me more money. Like, fair shout for being so transparent, mate. But, you know, it is what it is. So I was like, okay, well, there's his face, all right? Clearly, because his voice is quite unique, you know? And then I saw this, which gave me the answers to some of the questions. Every time I record, spam again. Hello, spam. Hello, spam. Fuck off. So, right, this is the one that really answered the questions inside that live stream, okay? First of all, this one here.
But the case before it ejects or something stupid. So you need a little bit of time for the firing pin to shoot the bullet and for the bullet.
Anyway, I don't know if I should show too much of that because it's a GUN, if I can say that. But that's his voice. You know, I know a lot of Americans have guns, okay? Like, it doesn't explain much, but it might explain some of the cocking of a gun in the background of the live stream. But then this was the creme de la creme, right? This was the final nail in the coffin for me to confirm he's made this thing. Oh, I've got to give this a shout out as well. This is from Skywatch Signal on X. I don't know who sourced this, but well done. Well done. Oh, it's actually his website, domainweapons.com. He says, I specialize in weaponsmithing and custom fabrication. This started as a hobby and grew into something more. Each of my weapons are one of a kind and handmade using old world tools. Although you may mostly see blades on my website, I do anything weapon related, whether it be blacksmithing, gunsmithing, or any other kind of dangerous weapons. I can help. Feel free to reach out to me if you like my work. I will be more than happy to help with any custom project you have in mind. Like, you can... It's not 100% proof, but you can pretty much understand how and why he could have come up with this cigar-shaped UAP. So, I'm putting it to bed. He's done a very good job faking it. You know, this is a genius way to maybe promote his website now. Fair shout to him. It's a bit annoying. It is. Because obviously we all want to... I want to believe! Okay? But he also mentioned something else about the Boogosphere in his live stream. He says, I'm guaranteeing you the Boogosphere is also fake. This is what he said. All right? And he said, I mean, I'd like to know why he thinks this 100%. Because there is part of me that thinks he got the idea of doing this from the Boogosphere, I think. Well, with his, you know, his skills in weaponry, you know, it just puts two and two together. But he's saying like the Boogosphere is a load of rubbish as well. All right? So I'm putting it to bed. Well done to him. He wants to go on, carrying on. I don't know. I think his idea might be to take down his channel, do another channel, and then do another hoax of some sort. I'm not too sure. But best of luck to him. Gutted because obviously, I mean, fucking, let's be honest. Props to him. He did a really, really good job. And I know that there's people out there that probably saw this and, went straight to this is fake. And look, I don't think that is, like, hats off to you. Well done for seeing the signs. But I don't think it's a sign of who's more or less intelligent. I don't think this is a sign of intelligence because you had a gut feeling that this was fake. Because when I've said this before, when you're dealing with the paranormal, the extraterrestrials, UAPs, bit like Avi Loeb, you shouldn't ignore what you're seeing, right? You need to ask questions. Yes, on the surface, it's probably fake and all this sort of stuff. But what if it's not? What if this isn't fake? Right? And I suppose that is what I feel is a strength for us. It's not immediately being skeptical and saying it's not fake until I see it and touch it with my own eyes and see it floating or whatever, right? I think it's the understanding that you're okay with it not being fake, with it being something else, So I don't feel like, I mean, I was, and I'm not just saying this, hopefully you understand me and you know me by now. I wanted it to be real. I was very intrigued. But if you go back to watch my very first video that I made about James, there were certain things that I brought up as a red flag. The main one, I think, was when he went off, the camera cut, and he came back, and then the thing was on the ground. There was certain things there, which I thought were a little bit sus. But I was willing to cover it. I was willing to look into it. And that's what I think we should take away from this. Don't be disheartened by hoaxes. Don't be disheartened by things, people trying to get fame or fortune from, fabricating these things, like whatever you see on the internet, right? It's part of the discovery. It's part of the journey. If you believe that there is something else out there, then believe it, right? There's no harm in that. And to the people that are skeptical, great. However, maybe just open your mind up a little bit, okay? You don't have to protect yourself. You don't have to protect your ego or anything like that. Sometimes I think people fall into this trap of it's safer to disbelieve in things in the fear of being stupid or looking stupid, right? You're not looking stupid. It's just an open-minded view on life and possibilities of other life. And I hope you don't take that as an insult. We're all made up differently. None of us are perfect, okay? But that is basically what I wanted to say today. It's a bit of a different one. I know it's a lot of me chatting, which some of you like, some of you don't. Again, I can't make everybody happy. Thank you so much for watching. I will be doing more videos very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.